Hey you guys, it's Miss Arneson, and I'm here to give you some tips for getting prepared for your short answer questions on the test that you're going to be taking tomorrow for Science 222 Rain or Shine. So I hope you knew this class was kind of about climate change. That's what we really looked at. We looked at the causes of climate change, some of the effects of climate change, and then we also looked at some of the proposed solutions for climate change and what we're going to need to do about it. We also talked about how there's a movement, unfortunately, in the United States to kind of convince people that there is no big problem when it comes to climate change. And so I want you to remember all those things. What your question is going to be about on your final is going to be to describe some of the causes of climate change and how they're going to impact certain systems. So in this class, we looked at specific systems like the ones that control the weather, and those ones include like the differential heating of the earth and the greenhouse effect and the global circulation of the ocean. So you're going to be talking about those things and how those things are impacted by climate change. So first, let's think about some of the causes of climate change. Climate change causes are the things that have made it happen. So there's this natural thing that happens on the earth called the greenhouse effect, and it's actually a good thing because it keeps the earth warm enough for us not to die on the nighttime side of the earth and not to burn up on the daytime side. So it's really important that we have that. And my daughter's talking to me for a second, so let me go ahead. Some other things that have made climate change occur. So of course, the greenhouse effect is normal, natural, that just happens. But what we've done basically is we've filled the atmosphere of the Earth. Oh, I think this isn't even recording sound, is it? No, it is. Okay, sorry, I just got a new laptop and I'm trying to figure it out. Um, so with the emission of carbon dioxide from a lot of different things we do, like burning fuels, flying on an airplane, having a car that runs on gasoline. And then there's also things we do like cut down forests and then burn the forests. And those all add to greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Something that we touched on indirectly when we were talking about the carbon cycle was modern agriculture. So cows especially, we love beef in the United States and we also love milk and dairy products. And so we eat a lot of those things, which means we have to grow a lot of cattle. And when you do that, they emit a lot of methane into the atmosphere through their digestive system. So that is one way that we contribute to global warming. Climate change is definitely caused by human beings, though. Yes, there are natural variations in the temperature, the global temperature average, and the global climate. But the different thing right now is that we are in this really nice period of history where it's pretty cozy and nice on Earth, and it's not too cold and it's not too hot for us to survive here. But it is definitely changing because of our emission of greenhouse gases, and it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. So there's a bunch of things that are going to happen because of that. So if you remember, water in the air is a greenhouse gas. Water vapor is actually a greenhouse gas. It traps heat. And it also makes there be more energy in the atmosphere. So some consequences of that are like having more hurricanes, having more powerful hurricanes, having hurricanes that just sit in the same place for a really long time. That is something that we are making worse with climate change. Another thing is just the temperature. It's getting hotter, which means that it's going to be different to grow crops. Some organisms are threatened with extinction. There's more forest fires. So there's a lot of things going on this planet because of climate change. Most people your age do not have to be convinced that climate change is real, but what we need to do is we need to be able to convince the old people that climate change is real and it's something that needs to be addressed. And I don't consider myself an old person in this case because I'm also somebody who's trying to convince people that we need to do something about climate change. But the question that you guys are going to have on the test is so what are the causes of climate change? What are the consequences of climate change. So, what are the effects? And then also, what are some of the systems that it's affecting? So, I really want you to focus on like the water cycle. Well, what's happening with the water cycle? We're moving water from place to place, we're moving it out of aquifers, and aquifers are hard to recharge. What are we doing with the carbon? And adding more carbon to the atmosphere. We are taking carbon from fossil fuels where it's been stored for a really long time and we're releasing it into the atmosphere and it's trapping more heat. So those are some examples of systems that we interrupt. And when we do that, we get these dangerous climatic patterns that start showing up, like with the hurricanes and the droughts that we're having. Forest fires aren't generally as bad if you've had a lot of rain in an area because the plants are basically like wet enough on the inside that they won't burn as much. And so you can have a shorter forest fire that doesn't destroy trees. It'll just burn like the little dead grasses and weeds that are around. So there's a lot of big issues related to climate change, and you are going to be writing about some of them in your essay. So make sure that you're prepared to do that. And if you have any questions about climate change, of course, you can ask me because I really care about it and I pay attention to it all the time. But I hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow with that multiple choice test and short answer questions.